Hey, my name is Marek. I'm a business owner and entrepreneur, and today you're listening to the Business Bosses podcast, where I bring you more business knowledge. So you can start and run your own business, and you can multiply your income by 10x. If you haven't done already yet, subscribe to the podcast. If you're watching it on YouTube, then subscribe to the channel, and also give a like, and let's dive into our content for today. Hey, welcome to the Business Bosses podcast. Today, you're tuning in with your host, Mr. Marek van Beek. I love how English people or American people say my name. They say Marek van Beek, which my true name in Dutch, in the Netherlands, is Marek van Beek, which sounds a bit different, but hey, who cares? And I'll respond to both names anyway. So hey, let's go to the podcast today. I've been very busy over the last couple of days. A lot of things has been going on in my business, which is pretty cool. In my social media business, for those who don't know, I have a social media company. We help people grow their social media on every platform out there: Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, SoundCloud, whatever you want, it's out there. We have it for you. And so a lot of good things have been going on. And so one thing I want to touch on is my fear of, letting this business go. Even when I was starting to make it more passive, when this business that I have right now is like more running on an autopilot, even when I get to that point, or before I get to that point, I really felt the anxiety to let go of that. I felt that, I had to put in hours to get money out of it. That was my mindset. That was my way of thinking. So it was very hard for me to let go of that and to find people and to automate the whole process, because I thought that if I don't work in the business, then my revenue will decline. Well, I've been doing it now for a couple of weeks where most of the processes are being automated. I've let everything go, and still the business is making profits and it's being steady. It's not growing, it's not slowing down either. So that's a great, cool thing. And actually, because I have so much more free time now, I'm focusing more on expanding the business and, adding new products and do a whole new marketing program, which is called email marketing. I've explained it in the other podcast episodes. So that's what I'm working on right now. And, also increasing website speed, which is very important because people, users, they like fast loading time, right? They don't want to go to a website and then wait 10, 12, 15 seconds. They don't even want to wait more than 3 or 5 seconds nowadays. This attention span of people is so low. I don't know what happened with this generation. Their attention span is super low, and so they're not really engaged in everything that you do unless you stand out in the crowd. And so yesterday I had a meeting with a good friend of mine, and we talked about how YouTube and every other platform is becoming so competitive these days. And that is true, and it's also become much more harder to compete. Why? Because production quality is increasing. People are making better quality videos. Maybe 10 years ago, you could get away with a crappy video. Nowadays, you need to have good quality. That's what we talked about. I do disagree a bit with him. That is just to say that, a lot of people that want to start a YouTube channel or they want to start a social media adventures, including me, they see all these people, they see Mr. Beast, they see all these big guys on YouTube with 1 million subscribers, and then they fail to remember, so they forget that these guys also start small. And I think the most important part of your journey, even if it's entrepreneurship, everything is always becoming more competitive. Every market, every niche is becoming more competitive. I believe 2 things that I want to share with you. One is, it is okay to suck. I have to remind that myself as well, that, hey, Marek, it's okay to suck, and just put it out there, just post it. Who cares? Who cares if it sucks? If people see it sucks, they'll just click away and then they go to the next one. So people don't have an opinion about that. And the other thing is that, the second thing, I believe that even if a market is saturated, there are always opportunities, or there are always markets that are not saturated. Look at TikTok, for example, 2 years ago. When I bought my social media company, we didn't offer any service for TikTok. I saw huge potential in TikTok, just for a matter of fact that, TikTok in the beginning was just teenagers dancing, making funny movies with a certain, funny song. And I saw that a lot. And everyone was talking about it. And maybe you remember that. Everyone was talking about TikTok and how these teenage girls or whatever, they're like dancing and making funny videos and they get millions of views, because that was TikTok at the beginning. And every time you see, like when it's social media network, you see a shift going through young target like young groups, like teenagers, if all these teenagers start using it, then slowly you will see, okay, then the people in their 20s will start joining the platform. And then after that, people in the 30s. You saw that with Facebook, you saw it with Instagram. It's always first the young people that adopt these new platforms. They're jumping on it and, they share it with their friends because they are so fast. They are so fast with sharing, and it's easy to go viral in that way. And so that's what I saw with TikTok. I saw all these teenage girls, even when I was working in Starbucks here in Bali, always kids, they were always making these funny TikTok videos. And I couldn't understand why. I couldn't see like how that would be beneficial to business one day, because ultimately that's what these platforms are there for, right? To promote, to advertise, to give a place to advertise for other businesses. But I could see that, okay, once this stage is over of these teenage girls making funny videos, once that stage is over, then you will see older people coming into TikTok, and then you see content change, and then you'll see more influencers come. And so that's exactly what happened. And so my whole point that I'm trying to make here is that, okay, maybe Instagram is saturated, maybe Facebook is already done. Doesn't mean that, there are not other opportunities, aka, hey, TikTok. I don't know what, like TikTok is now, like that's the cool thing right now, right? But you see already TikTok is becoming more competitive. It's more harder to get through, to go viral. And so in a couple of years, there will be other platforms popping up for sure, 100% sure. And here's the cool thing. We as entrepreneurs, I believe we're always looking for kind of unfair advantage. Not like an unfair advantage, maybe that's not the right word, but I mean, we're always looking like, okay, where do we have an edge over other people? And especially, I used to play a lot of online poker, and you're always looking for the edge. And so I remember the story of a guy, he was making like tons of money with online poker, but he was a professional poker player in the sense that, he was looking for the edge, for what's the competitive edge that he had. And he wasn't particularly very good at poker. It's actually very hard to become like Daniel Negreanu, it's like #1 poker player, or what's the other guy, Antonio, I forgot the name, but it's very hard to actually become the top. These guys, they have played 1 million hands or tens of millions of hands. So they know exactly. They have played for over 20, 30 years poker. So to get to that top, it's like very, very hard to get there. So this guy was playing at moments where he knew he had an edge, where he knew he had a competitive advantage. And what were those moments? Those moments were when everybody else was playing with fun money, people were drunk, especially people, in the US, when it's weekend, when it's Friday night, Saturday night, maybe even Sunday night. What do? They go out, they go to the bar, and then when they get home, they think, they feel so confident because they got a few drinks, right? And they feel so confident that they are the next pro player poker. So what they do, they deposit 1,000K and they're going to play poker. And obviously they're going to lose because, alcohol and drugs and whatever doesn't make you a good poker player. And when I heard it, I thought like, okay, yeah, that's so true, because he actually can play at that moment. So he's playing at that time, taking all the money of these drunk players that come home that feel super confident about their skill, and he makes a lot of money from it. And so the moral of the story is, again, find your competitive advantage, find your edge, and TikTok was that in the beginning. Just to go back to social media, TikTok was that in the beginning. It could be your competitive advantage. And I think that's because opportunities and markets always change. They're always change. You got this great book, it's called The Blue Ocean. I think I haven't actually read it, but I know what the book is about. The book is about, you have to find your blue ocean. And the blue ocean is people that, a market that is not saturated, that is new, that is different. There's not a lot of competition in that market. And then you compare it with a red ocean, and a red ocean is an ocean where there's a lot of blood in the red ocean, meaning there's already a lot of people being killed, being slaughtered. I don't know if that's the right analogy, but the point here is that, in the red ocean, there's a lot of competition. And you don't want to be in that market because it's very hard to be competitive in that market. And so if I go to what I'm doing right now, I realize that the business niche, the money, the trading, the investment, the crypto niche is a very saturated market. 3 years ago, 5 years ago, when I was in crypto, there was nobody talking about crypto on the internet. There were a couple of people, yes, but they were all like always these small influence. And so these people actually, props for them. I like people that are big in crypto YouTube, I would give them applause. Well done. They stick to their plan. Anyway, the crypto market, and then, so these people, they operated in the blue ocean market. I'm in a very saturated market because the business needs, investment needs, it's all very saturated. And so I realized that, and I don't want to compete with those people. I believe, though, there's a whole blue ocean basically in the investment niche, but mainly private equity investing. Because I don't know a lot of people that do private equity investing. And I talked about it in a couple of videos before. I'll link one here, what it is and why I invest in private equity versus stock market. The thing is that private equity, it can give you so much more return, and no one is talking about it. And I think, it's a very great niche. And actually, that's what most people should be playing. Instead of investing 50K in the S&P 500, which has become like almost like the mainstream financial advice because, the stock market had an 8% return over the last 100, 200 years, whatever it is, right? Yeah, that's pretty cool. But investing $500 every month or $200 or whatever the small amount is, you're investing every month in the S&P isn't going to make you rich, okay? That's the whole deal. Investing in private equity, that's going to make you rich. That's when you get the 10x, 20x, 100x returns if you invest in your private equity. I bought my first company for 25,000 euros and now it's valued at around $500,000. That's pretty cool in about 2-3 years. So that's like the order of magnitude. And yeah, that's why I believe like private equity is the thing. It is because your returns can be so much greater. I get it. Most people don't have the time to do that because private equity requires also a time investment. That's like basically the trade-off. And most people are not willing to commit to that. And that's why I believe that private equity is great because most people won't do that. Most people, they're just being, they have their full-time job. I totally get it. You're busy. And so they don't have time to, source all these businesses that are for sale. They don't even have time to be active in the business. And so I think it's all about commitment. If you want to be financial independent, it's about commitment, it's about your mindset, and it's about what you do, the actions that you take. Yeah, I think that's it for today. There's another thing I want to point to you out is I made a free ebook about the 12 principles of money, and it teaches everything about money that I've learned over the last 25 years. Because basically money, it wasn't like my love, but it was my obsession. I wanted to know how it worked, how it works today, and how to get more of it. And so everything I learned over the last 25 years, doing 100 million in day trading volume, having my own businesses, bought 2 businesses, everything I learned from that, I compiled that into my free ebook. You can just download it by going to the link in the description and you just give in your email address and you get it for free. We'll send it to your inbox. So that's that. Cool. Thank you for tuning in to the Business Bosses podcast today. Thank you for listening and I'll see you in the next one. God bless.